What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm back in Metro Manila. And today I'm gonna do like a little challenge. I'm gonna walk from right here from Guadalupe to BGC. Now the thing is, you look at the map, they look like they're really next to each other, but there's no way to really walk straight forward to connect towards BGC. So I'm probably gonna go around circles around the neighborhood, probably make it towards Kalayaan Avenue and try to walk all the way and head towards 8th Avenue and enter BGC. At the same time, I want to show you like the contrast of the neighborhoods next to each other. One thing is that Guadalupe belongs to Makati, traffic jam for Mesa, and BGC belongs to Taguig. So, you know, a lot of people when they go into Makati, they focus like in the developed area, the modern areas, but Makati has a lot of neighborhoods that look just like this, you know, like barangays and stuff, local neighborhoods, you know, a lot of action, but it's a good way for me to see the neighborhood walking around, you know, from one side to another one. So without further ado, join me. And this is Bicicleta right here. And you can see some of the skyscrapers of Rockwell, which is a district in Makati. I'm gonna start detouring into the regular neighborhood in Guadalupe to see what can I find. And once you make it inside Guadalupe, this is what you find. Keep in mind, this is not my first time in Guadalupe. I already made a recorded video for this neighborhood. Made it like a year ago, if you guys wanna check it out. But now I really want to walk towards BGC. And Guadalupe is actually a vibrant neighborhood. You can find everything from shops right here towards my left and right, you know, a lot of action going on. And then, you know, you're gonna see the change. But yeah, today's actually busier than the last time I came over here to the heart of Guadalupe. And I'm sure they call it also Guadalupe Market. You can see they got foods, street vendors, a lot of business out here, you know. A lot happening. These are the type of neighborhoods I love exploring. They even have literally a hotel, Astro Hotel. Actually, I saw it in a blog, you know. But yeah, a lot going on. People really love wearing their jerseys, and the weather's really hot today, really hot and humid. Bottom line, you know, it's a day of exploration. I think what usually makes the weather also really hot here is the smog, like the air quality, you know. Sometimes the buildings, even though they're not too far, you can't really see it clearly. So I think that really causes the heat to be concentrated down here underground. But yeah, feels good to be back in Guadalupe. You know, I only came once, explored, but now I'm back again checking out this vibrant neighborhood out here in the heart of Makati. And I'm doing a detour over here because over there it just turns residential. But over here you got more going on, you know, like restaurants, tricycles, which is one of the best forms of commuting out here in the Philippines, and especially Metro Manila. It's more over that way. Then you can see the skyscrapers of BGC. We're gonna walk towards there. You can see it. It's literally right there, but it's a little bit hard to get there by foot. But I'm gonna attempt to do that today. Little by little, I got my umbrella go. Apparently it's predicting to be some type of rain out here. So I think for the next 24 hours, it's supposed to be a typhoon heading around here. Hopefully it doesn't hit hard, but you know, if that's the case, that'll be actually my first typhoon. But this is not a new for me because I already experienced hurricanes back in my island in Puerto Rico, which is literally similar to typhoons, but over there, like in the Americas region, we call it hurricane, and I know here in Asia they call it typhoon. So this is an idea of what's going on. And then once you enter like the busy streets, over here you get like a regular residential area with nice, well-paved roads. So here you see the roads are pretty nice. Pretty clean too. You can start seeing the high-rise developments of BGC at the end. So, and this is Guadalupe Nuevo. Guadalupe is divided into Guadalupe Viejo and Guadalupe Nuevo. This is the Nuevo side, which is served by the MRT line, and it's literally right next to the Pasig River. Pasig River, and then on the other side, you know, is BGC. And then Guadalupe really has some nice residential areas, as you can see here. Nice looking apartments. They even got like mini shops out here, you know, mini stores, ice cream stuff, you know. I might need to get water later to hydrate myself in the heat. And I think this is like a condo. Has its own private parking out there. Then it keeps going ahead. I'm not gonna lie, that a lot of parts of Metro Manila reminds me of New York City. Like if you get off near where the train station is, or the main avenue is pretty busy and you expect the whole neighborhood to be like that. But if you make a detour into streets like this, it turns pretty residential and pretty quiet. So huge contrast of what's going on. You see what's going on. Not gonna lie, actually Guadalupe is a nice neighborhood. See, the houses are pretty nice, the street is pretty nice. Then you see the high-rise buildings over there, BGC. So a huge contrast. But it's gonna be pretty interesting. Then the same thing happens in the opposite direction of BGC. Once you pass Market and SM Aura, if you go on the other side is Pambo. I made a video over there if you guys want to check it out. Also they got East Rambo, which from an aerial view, it looks like it's all piled up together, but if you walk in the neighborhood, it's actually pretty nice. Like, nice streets like this, nice community, you know. I gotta make my way back to Pambo, and they got a lot of Kalayaan there. There's a lot of great restaurants over there, so yeah. So once I make it to Kalayaan, I can either make it right or left. I just gotta figure, maybe I'll do both. But here you see the streets, how nice they are. Pretty nice, let me see. Then over here it goes down the hill. You can see parts of the skyscrapers of Rockwell at the end. Like I say, this over here belongs to Makati. Then we will cross the borderline towards Taguig. Now, so keep in mind, Taguig is big. You know, a lot of people, especially the foreigners, they think Taguig is only BGC, but BGC is only like a little portion, maybe 1% of Taguig, maybe less. You know, Taguig is actually really massive, and it goes literally by the water. You know, they got a lot of barangays, a lot of neighborhoods. So, you know, I'll probably rent a car and I'll probably want to explore Taguig, not like BGC, but like other parts of Taguig to see what it looks like. You see the sidewalks, how nice and well paved they are. Wow, and the streets, no potholes, no anything. Like I said a million times, where I'm from, and even the city that I live, Jersey City, New Jersey, it's literally filled up with potholes. And keep in mind that Jersey City is one of the most expensive cities in the United States. Literally right across New York City, but it got horrible road conditions unless you go through the downtown area. But the neighborhood that I live is literally filled up with potholes. But here you walk in the Philippines in regular streets and it's nicely well paved. Then ahead of me is Kalayaan Avenue. I can literally see BGC, but I cannot go straight. So I gotta walk literally like around to make it into the neighborhood. I just don't know which side should I go. Should I head towards 32nd Street or head towards 8th Avenue? I'll figure it out. Here, not sure if you can see, this is Kalayaan Avenue. And then behind you see the Park Hyatt Hotel. It's some of the areas of Uptown Bonifacio. So this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna walk over this side, around the street of Kalayaan, and make it towards 8th Avenue and walk deep into Uptown Bonifacio. So probably like a stronger challenge. I'm gonna walk into the BGC area, and then I'm gonna exit again back to Guadalupe and the other side by 32nd Street to see how that works out. Wish me good luck making this, you know. I know the heat is terrible, so I'm gonna wait for the light to cross, and then I'll cross the pedestrian area right here. Pretty busy in Kalayaan. And across the street, you got the icon Jollibee. I just gotta be careful crossing the street. It's gonna be a little bit crazy. You know, crossing the streets in the Philippines are like in another level. And this is Kalayaan. You can see parts of the buildings of Mandaluyong over here. So a little bit of everything. I'm in the Makati area, then Mandaluyong ahead, and then to my right is Taguig. I'm probably gonna do a detour into some of these regular streets to see what they look like and to show you, you know, the vibes over there. But it seems like I gotta go around Kalayaan just to make it into BGC, when literally you can see BGC right next to me. You can see the difference of the neighborhood, you know. That's why I say a lot of foreigners that like to come and focus in Makati and BGC, but they don't explore areas like this, which is literally like really close to, you know, the BGC area. And look at the houses over there. You can see what's going on. Got a couple of little businesses out here. And I think this is like a mini street. Maybe I'll detour to see. It got a gate, so maybe it's like a little private or barangay, but let me just show you a little portion of what's going on over here. See? It's like little regular streets, little alleys, and then you see the tall high-rise buildings behind me. But I don't think there's any way I can make it towards the BGC area. Oh, they even got a basketball court, and it says Bataan, which I filmed there not much ago. Oh, this is actually nice. Look at the alley. Cool. Even got little shops and everything. One of the street will take me back to Kalayaan. I'm the only foreigner here exploring. What I love doing in Metro Manila, you know, exploring streets like this. Wow, they even got some beautiful houses here. Look at these houses, how nice and gorgeous they are. More of this area, and then over here, And then let me just show you the buildings of BGC behind me, see? So it seems like they're gonna build something here. And then you got the contrast. Wow, it's crazy, but pretty interesting at the same time. Then here I'm just gonna exit back towards Kalayaan. But it's crazy that even in little alleys like this, you got small business going on. So you really don't have to, go far to get products and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. And I'm just gonna hit the main street and try to make it towards BGC. And then back again is Kalayaan, and let me show you this alley over here. Wow, literally the houses go all the way over there. So, super highly densely populated area. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. Well, one of our fitting here, let me see. Yep, I'm scanning. But Metro Manila is one of the most densely populated cities in the whole world. Pretty crazy. But I love it, I love exploring huge, massive urban areas. Another city that I really want to explore is not in the Philippines, it's in Indonesia. I want to head towards Jakarta. A lot of people, when they talk about Indonesia, they always think about Bali, the nature, the beaches and stuff, but I'm a fan of cities and stuff, and I really want to go to Jakarta because it's one of the second most populated metro area behind Tokyo in Japan, so it'll be an honor for me to head over there and explore to see, what's going on. Wow, Kalayaan Avenue is actually really cool, What's up, sir? It's really cool, a lot of things going on. I like how the people look at me when they see me vlogging. But yeah, let's see what else can we find here. And it keeps going over here. I'm not sure where that building is, where I do my detour and enter Bonifacio Global City. But it says, thank you, you are leaving Metro Manila, what? Oh, it's like an extension, I guess. I think years ago I went to an area nearby here, but not sure where. But yeah, here they got the sign. And then there's more business ahead of me. There's even a Pizza Hut. A Pizza Hut right here. You don't really see much of Pizza Huts back in New York City. It's the same way you don't see really much Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC. But over here in the Philippines, they're literally going pretty strong. So it's pretty good to see it, And like I say, the fast food chains over here are way better than back in the States because they offer a lot of varieties and stuff. Oh, it's pretty interesting to look at some of these alleyways over here. Loving it. Maybe later in the afternoon it gets more busy over here, more packed, more action, more people, But it's pretty lively over here. And this area is reminding me a bit of Vietnam, Hanoi. Also some parts of Phnom Penh and Cambodia. Like with the trees, the business and everything, and then the nasty traffic jam. And they got a jeepney that's literally packed up with people. But that's a big way for Filipinos to commute. And I love how the locals hanging out here are staring at me. I don't think they really, there's a Banan guy over that way. Yo, shout out. I don't think they've seen a foreigner walking around here. The foreigners are literally like to my right side by Bonifacio, but they don't venture around here. So, but you can see they were very friendly. They just wave at you and stuff. As long as you respect the locals and of course, be aware of your surroundings. It's all good. So I think maybe like 5-10 more minutes and I should make a ride and enter Bonifacio. I already filmed many videos over there, so I'm not gonna show you the whole thing, but I'm gonna walk shortcut from Bonifacio, make it to 32nd Street and head back towards Guadalupe area. Just to show you, the contrast of the neighborhoods and doing like a different type of urban exploration right here. And it seems like a nasty cloud ahead of me. Not sure if it's gonna rain. Like I said, I got my emergency here, the umbrella, just in case. Nice looking building. Not sure if it's a school. Could be. A lot of students out here. Jesus, you could see the contrast literally next to me, but no way I can literally cut through these areas and make it there. So you literally gotta go around, but ahead of me should be 8th Avenue. And it would take me towards where the Japanese malls are, this part of the Uptown area. They got the Japanese Mall, Park Hyatt, Uptown Bonifacio is in 9th Avenue. But you're gonna see how much it's gonna change for this area that I'm walking around here. For anybody who's literally new to the channel out here. So, and the humidity is kicking in. Hot weather, diabolical of me to wear a black shirt. But the other shirts, even though they're a different color, they're a little bit thick, so I'll probably be dying in the heat. If you're coming here during rush hour, it's mostly traffic jam, but there's still a lot of people out here. And they got the viaduct over there. Gotta watch your steps, because I say some of the roads are not well paved. But then over here, I'll make it right, and it'll take me straight into Uptown BGC, Bonifacio, how they call it out here. So yeah, keep in mind, a lot of people that wear umbrella, not because it's raining, it's just to protect them from the heat that it can literally burn through your skin. And then here, I'm starting to see the contrasts entering the massive skyscrapers or Bonifacio, where a lot of foreigners want to live out here. Me too. Hopefully in the future I can get to live here, but I want to do a lot of urban explorations. I think in 2032 is when they're going to open the Metro Manila subway, and BGC is going to have a subway stop, but it's going to be near the market area. So it's going to be in one side of the neighborhood, and then you got to walk the entire BGC depending where, because it's divided like in different sections. So here it is from Guadalupe, Makati to BGC, Taguig, and look at the contrast of the architecture and the buildings out here. And I'm starting to see a foreigner. Those buildings over there is called Uptown Palazzo, which is right across the Mitsukoshi, which is a Japanese mall. And then ta-da, welcome to Bonifacio Global City, highly urbanized district in Metro Manila. Beautiful condominiums that they got going on over here. So it seems like over there they're gonna build another skyscrapers. They got Uptown Arts. I always go to BGC, but I never walked the stretch of Kalayaan and over here. So exploring, like if it's my first time. Look at the beautiful. This is Mitsukoshi, the Japanese mall. And then there's are some beautiful modern condos called Uptown Palazzo. This is Uptown BGC. Like I say, BGC is divided by different areas. They got Uptown, they got Forbes Town, then they got the High Street area. This is the entrance here to the Japanese mall. See how beautiful the sidewalks are? They got the lights. I'm pretty sure in the nighttime it's beautiful to look at. Gonna make it towards where the fountain is in Uptown Bonifacio Mall to show you the vibes over there, Just doing like a little crossover. A block ahead of me is Park Hyatt, which is also pretty modern and a high-end residential unit over here in Manila. And behind me, two foreigners. So, who would have thought this neighborhood where I'm walking now is literally right next to where I started my video. Where I was walking was literally like 5 minutes from here, and you can see how the vibes change over here. So, gonna cross the street over here to show you what's going on. And over here's where they got the fountain. I used to call this like the Bellagio of the Philippines, if you guys know what I mean. Bellagio is like that fancy fountain. Like that fancy fountain in Las Vegas, Nevada, that has, the music that plays and then the water goes with the same level of the music. So they have that right here, especially in the nighttime. Right now it's just super simple. Yeah, look what I'm surrounded with. See? A huge contrast from where I started my walk. I love it out here, but I also love exploring the regular neighborhoods like the one that I walk, like Guadalupe. And if you guys are new to the channel, give me a follow. Check out my old videos before you assume, oh, you haven't explored this neighborhood, or please explore this neighborhood. Just scroll for all my videos. It's not my first time in the Philippines. I've been here multiple times. I've covered, not everywhere, but I cover a decent amount of neighborhoods in Metro Manila and throughout different regions of the Philippines. So before assuming, just be sure to check out all the videos I've posted. And here's a beautiful fountain that we got going on right here. Nice, right? Yeah, look at this high-rise buildings. It feels like I'm back home in New York. Or in Jersey City, you got, pretty much like the same architecture, same design of building. Now I'm just gonna make it towards the High Street area and then hit back 32nd Street and make it back to Guadalupe. So I was not really planning out. My plan was to do Guadalupe, Kalayaan, enter 8th Avenue here to BGC and take a Grab. But now, honestly, I don't feel like taking a Grab, spending some money and waiting on traffic to go back home. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna shortcut through the High Street, make it to 32nd Street, and then walk Kalayaan back to Guadalupe and take the MRT. Cheapest and fastest way. And not only that, I wanna see what it looks like on the other side once I make it to 32nd Street. I think I passed by a car, but it's pretty much different when you're walking it by foot. So I don't know how clear you can see it. Those are the buildings, but there's literally smog in the air. So not sure if it's the heat or anything, but it's pretty common here in Southeast Asia. And I mentioned in my previous video that it's been affecting my eyes. The doctor told me, here in Southeast Asia, a lot of dust in the air can literally affect your eye and stuff. So little adjustments, I had to buy a nice eye drops for my eyes, you know. But so far it's doing good. Sometimes when you go to different countries and different cities, you literally just gotta adjust to it, you know. Crazy here, it doesn't feels like I'm in another country or back home. Because you see, not just Filipinos, but you see literally people from all over, you know, like Chinese, Koreans, Europeans, Americans, because a lot of expats live here. I think of a lot of areas, you know, most of the expats in Metro Manila live in Makati and BGC, but I think this is the area where you can find the most expats. But it's just, you know, mind-blowing because this is literally next to where I was starting my video, and I'm gonna walk back out there in a bit once I shortcut through High Street. Here you got a regular local park. Right now it's not busy, but in the afternoon, a lot of people, they do exercise, jogging, recreational activities. And then you go over here. If you were to make it towards my left, ahead is Market and SM Aura. Also another thing, usually in SM Aura is the office building, and they got the immigration office. So it's very convenient for the expats to live here because they could go to the immigration office and work on the visa. Me, myself, I don't live around here, but I always come to this office over here to fix my visa status over here in the Philippines. Then ahead of me is the main area that connects literally the entire Bonifacio Global City, which is Bonifacio High Street. And it's literally like an outdoor shopping mall. You could connect through Market all the way to Forest Town, where they got the circle and the sphere. So I'm making it down here, so just mostly, you know, restaurants and shopping. Usually in the afternoon and the nighttime, it gets pretty lit over here. And they lit up the whole area, you know, so it gets beautiful. What you get, you know, regular stores and recreational parks. So it's not just like a shopping center, it's also for people to hang out, chill, you know, do a little bit of everything. They got a lot of coffee joints, a lot of restaurants. So, you know, I see it's one of the most desirable places to live because you can live in the condos, then come down here and explore around. You know, a lot of people complain that this is probably one of the most expensive areas. But if you keep in mind, you live in these buildings, you come down here, and then you got everything with a walking distance. Comparing to other areas of Manila, they got a cheap condo, but then you have to take a grab or something to get somewhere else further. So keep that in mind, you know, sometimes like any other regular city, depending on the prices, you're paying for the amenities and the accessibility that you got around your surroundings, just like the New York City area. That's probably one of the most walkable cities in the United States, because the United States is literally built and car-centric. So New York City, you know, is a good example to many other cities. So here it seems like they set up something. Not sure they're gonna set up the lights, because here in the Philippines, they take Christmas very serious. So yesterday in Cubao, they set up a Christmas tree near Araneta Center, the Coliseum. Those who don't know, I already filmed in Cubao, but Araneta Coliseum is where Muhammad Ali fought his fight back in the days, and that's where the phrase Thrilla in Manila came from, right there in Araneta Center. Araneta Coliseum in Cubao, Metro Manila. So here we got a decoration. What is this? Oh, today, Friday open. I guess today later they'll set up something out here. This is like a plaza. Ahead is Fifth Avenue. Is what I like to call it, the Times Square of the Philippines, so Metro Manila. Yeah, seems like they got some type of event going on over here. I just remember, I think they opened up a new Uniqlo over here that is 4 stories tall. And some celebrities, even some famous bloggers of the Philippines, that were out here opening it. So it's right there. So that's really cool. Not sure what those tents are for, but like I say, BGC is probably one of my favorite neighborhoods in Metro Manila because they got a lot of things going on right here. So yeah, it seems like they got some type of event over here. Even bars, was that like street food? And a huge tent, but it's not really crowded people out there. So, but maybe ahead there might be more stuff going on. So, it seems like they got like a little market over here. Interesting. I tell you, Philippines or Metro Manila is literally full of surprises. No matter where you go, there's always something going on. So, I'm probably gonna check out what is going on over here, see what's the vibe. It seems like it's a hiring event, I guess. Just taking a peek to see what it is about. Oh, they got coffee joints. A little bit of sellers, kind of like a modern, futuristic market over here. But this market's literally all over the Philippines. Seems like it's literally a technological market. See, they got engineering and stuff. I'm a fan of those things. And then they got so you can QR code. They got more over here going on. So, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Oh, wow, they even got an airplane. Lufthansa, that's European right there. Yeah, very good what's happening, nice. And they got like a fridge over here, so I guess they're promoting like electronics and cool stuff like that. So yeah, this area here is like I like to call the Times Square of the Philippines. As you know, I used to live in New York for 14 years, so this is nothing for me, but still really cool to see this, you know. Not sure they're gonna do the same thing in this angle. And then if you walk straight over there, that's the Forbes town. So yeah, I've seen a lot then over there. Ahead of me should be 32nd Street. I'm not gonna lie, even though I've been here many times, it just still blows my mind, you know, how amazing the neighborhood is. And once you walk a little bit further, how different it is from this side, you know. But like I say, you know, no matter what, you gotta spend like a really long time here in the Philippines to get like the full vibe, you know. Like I said, there's over 7,000 islands for you to explore out here. But now I'm gonna make it back to 32nd Street, and I'm gonna exit the other side and walk Kalayaan back to Guadalupe to see what's going on over that angle, you know. But you know, never a bad moment over here in BGC, but let's go explore the rest of this area over here in Metro Manila. So let's head back towards the Makati area and exit Taguig. Gotta love the infrastructure here of Bonifacio. The nice modern futuristic buildings, nice well-paved roads, you know. Here's pretty different over here, you know, people don't jaywalk like in other parts of Metro Manila. Then you got the Central Square Mall right there, so 360 view of what's going on over here. And in the evening and nighttime, it's even nicer here. I can tell you, this area over here, I prefer it better than some other cities I've been that are considered world class. Because I've been to another city that's world class, but even though it has great infrastructure, modern futuristic buildings and train system, you walk around the city, there's really no crowds. Maybe a few people, but over here, no matter what time of the day you go, there's always a lot of people, whether it's expats that live and work around here, workers, or people just coming and enjoying their day out here. You know, there's a lot to offer right here. So now let's make it back towards 32nd Street and see what other bars that we can find in the other side of this area right here. So over here next to me, I saw the rendering. They're gonna build a super, super tall, massive skyscraper. So BGC keeps improving and improving even more. I don't know if you can see the rendering. Maybe here. Here, see, this is what they're gonna build right here. Super tall skyscraper. It looks pretty nice. It's 32nd, and then towards my right is St. Luke's Medical Center, where there's a private hospital over here that serves this area over here in BGC. It's actually a really good hospital though. And you see how busy it is. There's a lot of motorbikes. There's a good area for them to work and do deliveries, you know, because they got tons of restaurants out here. And you can get around the apartments. I wonder if there's an area where I can cross on the other side. This is 32nd Street, so you can see how busy it is. But we're gonna exit BGC and make it back towards Guadalupe. I can see Makati on the other side, so yeah, I'm gonna cross where the people are crossing. Forget it, all the buildings of BGC. Bye-bye, BGC. I'll see you, I don't know, I guess in a little bit now that I live here. Just trying to make it back to reality. Back to the regular local streets of beautiful Metro Manila. I drove by here, I rode this area by Grab, but now I'm gonna do it by foot. So this is where the foreigners are, so bye-bye foreigners. I'm gonna be the only one right now walking back to beautiful Guadalupe, and I see the Central Business District of Makati where they got Ayala Triangle Park. Let me see if my camera can capture it. So we're here, where you see those buildings, that's Makati, so that's another municipality right here in the metro part of Manila. But we're in Taguig right now. But here is a bridge that will take you to Buendia and Makati, but also you can make it through EDSA. So little by little, I'm getting familiar to drive around here without a GPS. But easy peasy, you know. And towards my right, it's a regular neighborhood, so maybe I can do a detour and show you some of the local streets over here. But you see all the massive skyscrapers that's going on. Some heavy traffic jam trying to enter this region over here. Metro Manila, literally, no matter where you go, there's traffic jams all over. So it made sense that I decided to walk back to Guadalupe and hop in the MRT. And only a few stops back where I'm staying at. So look at the streets, they're beautiful, I like it. Nice. Here, look at the traffic jam. Pretty crazy out here, you know. So I say, I think it's faster if I do my walking than sitting in a car or taxi, Grab, whatever. Then they got a food hall across the street right there. So literally share the motorbikes with the cars. So, but now you're gonna see how the neighborhood changes again once I exit. Once I do like a curve over here, you see the different vibes that's going on right here. And then we are entering back the local area. Now you can see how I'm literally bathing in sweat. Because once you walk outside for a long time, the humidity really kicks in, you know, pretty hard. And the traffic jam keeps going. Rush hour is approaching. Well, right now it's like 3 o'clock. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it's gonna be more intense to drive around here. But yeah, we keep going straight. I think the street does like a little curve, and there's like a crazy intersection over there ahead of me. Here I am back again, literally like 5-minute walk from BGC and Kalayaan. Kalayaan Avenue, you know, huge contrast. No traffic over this way, but there's traffic literally in the other side of the street. So huge difference over here, but I'll show you what's going on ahead of me. Here you got, you know, local barangays, neighborhoods, carenderias out here, you know. This is how a lot of locals get their food, whether morning, daytime, nighttime, anytime. And it keeps going in the other side, so. Yeah, I think this is like a little tiny street over here, or an alleyway, let me see. So yep, local alleyway. And the modern buildings of BGC are all the way back there. Maybe I can detour one of these alleyways to see if I get a close-up of the skyscrapers of BGC with the old buildings over here. I don't know. I'll attempt, because the streets are super, super tight. But this is like a little regular street within steps from BGC and right off of Kalayaan Avenue. So pretty nice in the residential area and pretty chill and different in this side. And here it seems like they're doing some reparations. There's another intersection here, a tiny street towards my left. But hesitant again to Kalayaan. If you go towards the Pembo area, it's another area to see the different contrast of this area. Here's another local street. I think it's Jacinto Street. Goes up the hill, you know. And they got shops, tricycles, a little bit of everything that you can find out here. So here you have an idea what it looks like. So this area is called Barangay Bitogo, and it's right next to where you see the high-rise buildings. So I wonder if I walk ahead, I can get a view of the skyscrapers and the buildings down here. I'm gonna attempt to see what can I find. Over to the entrance here, Barangay Bitogo, and then you see the Grand Hyatt at the end of this right here. So here's more like a local neighborhood. This is like a barangay community center. So it's literally communities over here all together. You know, I guess no matter where you go, they make a huge use of the space throughout the metro part of Manila. So I'm not sure my camera captures behind me the buildings of BGC. Then here I'm surrounded by roosters. It's really cool. They got some roosters out here, nice. Nice community happening next to Bonifacio right here. I'm ready to head back towards Guadalupe. Literally, like I say, man, no matter where you go, you got stuff within walking distance, sari store, bakeries, vegetables, right here in the local barangay, you know. So it's like multiple barangays next to each other, surrounded over here. But I like really exploring areas like this, you know. It's pretty fascinating to me, I don't know why. Then you see the Park Hyatt right there behind me. So now we're just gonna go down the hills. We got a nice residential building. And walk back towards the MRT area. This is interesting. Welcome to my town, New York. Not sure where to get the name from New York. It's like New York City. They even have in the inside, like if it's subway lines in green colors. What is this building about? Community center? And they got more over here, business and everything. Guapitora, nice. A lot of tricycles to get you from point A to point B. Here goes another one. Wow, so it's packed in action, this barangay. You know, barangay is a good way to experience the Filipino culture. Local areas, good food, you know, local people, good community, so yeah. And back to Kalayaan, then we cross and we walk straight towards Guadalupe. Good thing I'm going down the hill, so I don't gotta go up the hill and do a cardio over here. And I get home, I'm gonna take a nice cool shower, man. I'm bathing sweat, but it's worth it though. So I'm back again in Guadalupe. Well, I started the video, the bus passing by me, but I think I already shown enough of today from here to BGC to Kalayaan Avenue to some of the regular barangays over here, you know. And it was a blast, so I think I'm gonna start wrapping up my video. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.